Gen X grew up on late-night warnings.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Scared, straight.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
And were inspired by movies that defined a generation.
We were all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I feel the need for speed.
We found our attitude in comedy.
I'm Gumby, damn it!
You see that sign? No shirt, no shoes, no dice.
Right. Learn it. Know it. Live it.
And our identity in pop culture.
I want my MTV!
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
What you talking about, Willis?
Keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
This is Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhide.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
All right, welcome in, everyone. Bill Rowland here, Gary Dollarhide there. Welcome back after the week off. It was fun. It was nice. Everybody's celebrating different things.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was just a long week, work and events that were planned, and we could get our schedules right. But, you know, and here I am in week 2, so we're kind of squeezing this one in because it's the same. I covering for people who are on vacation, and it's just a mess scheduling.
Well, it's it's the summer. That's the way it works. I mean, I had the birthday last week, so we had a couple days there where I had stuff planned that I couldn't get done. But I have to thank everybody because I was like, all right, well, we can't just not put out an episode. So we were just like, hey, let's go all the way back to episode number 2 when we did one-hit wonders of the 80s. And I was like, hey, you guys, if you're bored, listen to that. Good summer listening if you want to go over and check out the Spotify playlist. And lo and behold, again, we know we don't do ginormous numbers. It's fine. 118 more people are like, oh, you know what? I'll check that out. So I was like, cool. That episode's almost up to 200 now. So thank you for everybody who tuned in or retuned in or watched it again. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Do we get to add those numbers to the original 2 weeks and make it whatever that number would be?
It's up to like 188 views now. So I was like, all right, cool. Maybe we can push it to 200. It'd be our second video that goes over 200. So yeah,
I like the music talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of music talk, by the way, while we were out and about, you got to go see another 80s adjacent, I guess if you would call it, concert. So please give us a quick review before we get into this week's topic.
It was the Romantics as the opening act.
What I like about you.
Yes, and there's a weird story to that. We'll come back to that.
Love it.
Oh, no, let's go there. So I was thinking, we'll just go late. I don't really care because I could only think of What I Like About You and Talking in Your Sleep.
Yeah.
And there's one more.
Their whole album from, I think it's 83, is tremendous.
Yes. So I was just like, whatever, we get there, we don't. Come to find out there is one original member, the lead singer. So he owns it lock, stock, and barrel since 1977.
Wow.
And, 50 years almost.
Yep.
But the funny part was just looking back, like, tell me about the Romantics, because I remember when they had funny hair, they kind of doing the Flock of Seagulls thing. So What I Like About You was not even one of their big hits. Like, it topped out at like 49, I think it said. Like, it didn't really get up there, right?
Really? Okay.
But it is their cash cow because the licensing and the royalties of it being used in commercials and shows and everything else makes it the cash cow for them.
Okay.
But double check. Like it said,
I believe you.
Yeah.
Is it Wally Palmar that's the last one around? Okay.
He's the lead singer, still out there cranking it.
All right.
And that was my worry because, some of these acts, I mean, these people, they're in their 70s now. And there's certain musical genres does not lend itself to be that age.
Right.
And still trying to be out there being a rocker.
Oh, how about this? I nailed it. 1983, their album In Heat went to number 14. It was their biggest selling album. I nailed the year on that and everything. I knew it.
That's why you do this. You're good.
All right, single. Yeah, here you go. The single I'm looking. So that would have been. Talking in Your Sleep is the one that crushed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the big one, right?
Yep.
At least chart-wise.
Yeah,
But
what I like about you, you're right. 49.
Correct, but we all know it. We can all sing it. And like it went on to say that based on the royalties and everything else, that's why that song has just had such a long existence, and it's their moneymaker.
I mean, really, they didn't have much else.
Beyond, I think 1 in a Million was the other one. But
yeah, 1 in a Million was top 40 in the U.S.
But nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else. They just kind of went away.
So crazy. But they did. I mean, it was number 1 in Canada, Talking in Your Sleep. But yeah, I just remember that they had that one album, and that was pretty much it. And I was right. They don't have much else going on. But I love them. I love that album. That In Heat album is fantastic. Nothing else really charted, but I love that album. It's great. Makes me want to go download it from Spotify now.
Maybe we'll help get them a few more downloads this week with this show.
Maybe.
Who
else?
And then next up, Christopher Cross.
Sailing.
Yep, Sailing. Yep. Think Laura. I mean, he has a catalog, right? I mean, I know his stuff. Not Running with the Night. Oh shoot, I'm blanking. I've been driving all day from Quebec, so
right.
You gotta give me a listen. But he had a catalog that you're like, okay, he's going to be able to put out a good show. And
he's 75.
Yes, he did.
No, he's 75. Yeah, turned 75 in May. Wow.
You know, there's always the joke that, MTV killed him. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but I think if you go back to it, he was not designed for MTV.
No.
His music was not designed for it, and back then, I think he was a little bit heavier. He didn't have a look that was going to translate to MTV. They want to be rocking, upbeat, modern, and here's Christopher Cross, and I'm sure he's no different now than he was then. He comes out, T-shirt with a vest, his hat on. Hello, I'm Christopher Cross.
Right.
Right, and he's accompanied by a saxophone player, a drummer, a grand pianist, and 3 singers. And he just plays his music, and we're all singing it. He did it twice, but his finale, his encore, was Sailing, but it was just him, acoustic guitar, by himself on stage, and everyone singing with him.
Of course.
So, and for him, musically, obviously the music was good. Vocally, he's great. Like, nothing's changed. And I think he benefits from his music not having to strain, push, force, right? It's at his age, he's still singing the same stuff the same way.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, he had 3 number 1 hits.
Mm-hmm.
And Sailing wasn't one of them. Ride Like the Wind.
Ride Like the Wind. That was the one I was trying to think.
Ride Like the Wind went to number 2. I take it back. Sailing was did have number 1. So he had 2 number 1 hits. He had that and Arthur's Theme.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 2 that went to number 1. Sailing was number 1. Ride Like the Wind got to number 2. Arthur's Theme went to number 1. That's it for top 10 hits. And yet everybody goes, oh yeah, Christopher Cross, legend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I said Think Laura was a song he wrote for a friend, but that was because of General Hospital.
And it didn't chart. It went to. I take it back. It went to number 9. It didn't chart. It didn't chart in the UK.
Yeah. Okay. And then if you have it there, I think he hit the trifecta with the Grammys that one year as like best song, best album, or something. And he won like 3 or 4 Grammys.
I don't have his Grammy stuff here. Okay. I'm looking. Hold on. Awards and nominations. Yeah, here we go. Grammys, Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best New Artist, all in 1980. Crushed.
Yeah. And I think he's the last one since Billie Eilish that has done that. In 40-some years. Him and her. That was the gap of someone being able to pull that off.
Yeah.
So he I mean, like I said, it was a fantastic show. He just sang his songs, and they were done wonderful. Like I said, I think the backup singers are there to help, but probably also carry him a little bit, so he's not having to force so much through the choruses and everything to get through his show. But I mean, he didn't hobble out there. He walked out and was just very, "Hi, I'm Christopher Cross, and I wrote this song." And, right?
Everybody claps, right?
And he did his show, and it was great.
All right.
And then
who was the last one?
Toto.
The studio musicians, Toto.
Yes.
Right? Isn't that where they started from?
Pretty much all of them, yes. And there's been different incarnations. What's his name? Steve Lukather. I think he's like the only original left, because one or two of the other originals, like one just died, the other one's in surgery. Again,
Right. Well,
we're dealing with 70-year-old men. This is what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Their other lead singer right now, Joseph Williams, well-known fact, is the son of famed composer John Williams.
Oh,
so
okay.
Musically inclined. And for those with kids, he did, is it Madagascar?
Probably.
What is that song? So he's the voice of whatever animal when it's singing.
Oh, Hakuna Matata or whatever?
Yes, that's the song.
Oh, okay.
I missed that one with Tommy. Wrong age group.
All right.
So, yeah, but, I mean, they suffer from... They are fantastic instrumentalists. I mean, it is a given, even the old guys and new guys. The catalog is sort of there, but they kind of went down the road that always say, "Oh, why'd you do that?" And you get we haven't played this one in 30 years.
And you're like, there's a reason.
It's like, oh, thank you for sharing that with us. And that particular song went on, and drum solo, guitar solo. And it was just like, we don't even know the words. We can't help you and have fun with us. But otherwise, and again, their grand finale is Africa. And they bring out Christopher Cross and just the one guy from the Romantics to kind of have a big group sing at the end. And obviously the place is just going nuts and everyone's having a good time with that. So it was a beautiful evening and, another great 80s night. I am unfortunately going to miss this week's 80s night.
Okay.
Coming up tomorrow night is Shonen Knife, Toad the Wet Sprocket, and
there it is.
Men at Work.
Oh, I would like
the headliner.
I would like that. Colin Hay, right? Men at Work, lead singer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I
like his solo stuff too.
I was hoping for that one, but I have to work.
I'll have to look for it on down here. Maybe they'll.
But
be
it was
here
still
at some
kind of
point.
an odd mixture in the group. I didn't look it up to figure out, was the Wet Sprocket Toad from Australia too?
I don't know if they are.
And then Shonen Knife, I remember the name. I couldn't tell you what they sing at all.
I don't know them at all.
But somehow they registered to get an opening gig on this tour.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Maybe I would recognize a song.
Like I've heard the name because it's an interesting name, but I couldn't tell you one note that they even play.
Yeah, Toad the Wet Sprocket originally from Santa Barbara.
Oh, so all right.
So
I was trying to figure out the connection because there is a little bit of time difference and from 80s to more of the 90s and style, but okay, and maybe that's the whole setup of the gig of, we know a bunch of 80s people will come see Men at Work, and
I thought
next level with the 90s Toad the Wet Sprocket, they'll come.
I know Colin Hay is still around.
Yes.
But I feel like, didn't one of the members, at least one from Men at Work, they're completely broken up, right? It's just Colin Hay with a bunch of guys, right?
Well, Colin owns the name as far as I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the whole business side. Who owns the actual name? And who gets the tour?
All right, here it is. In 1984, Spicer and Reese, so Jerry Spicer and John Reese, were asked to leave the band, leaving Hay, Ham, and Streicher as a trio, accompanied by session musicians. During the quarter of Two Hearts album, Streicher decided to leave. Soon after the 85 release of Two Hearts, Ham left also, leaving Hay as the sole band member. So
that's what you win.
The name was retired in 86, and then they brought the name back. And then, unfortunately, Greg Ham died in April of 2012. And Colin Hay in 2019 brought back Men at Work and beginning touring with a new lineup. So, yeah, he's the only guy left.
Yeah. That's where you want to be, like him and the guy from the Romantics. If you're the last one,
Great.
Royalties, everything's on you, and you're just hiring studio musicians to fill slots, and you own it.
That's pretty incredible.
It's the dirty side of the music business.
Yeah, I mean, good for him being able to do that. That's awesome. Yep. Oh, what was that? Was that you or me?
May have been the dog. I don't know.
No, I heard a beep, so it must have been just on my end.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. Anyway, all right. Well, good. That's a fun time. We'll have to continue.
It was a good show. I mean, like I said, with these, I never go in thinking this is going to be wonderful, right? You just because you don't know. I mean, look at David Lee Roth right now. He just canceled the rest of his entire tour because everything said it's garbage. I don't know. I saw some video and would go think in my head, hey, if I'm trying to pull this off, I wouldn't be doing dumb stuff like that. But some people live in their own world, their own head. But so I don't expect much. So the Romantics, they were fine. Didn't overly excite me, even though the couple songs. Christopher Cross.
Play the 3 hits and get off.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Christopher Cross, amazing. Did his thing. Even the songs, and I think it's because of the weather and everything, like even the ones you didn't know, you were just there having a good time, right? It's all in that vibe, as they say nowadays.
Yacht
you
rocking.
just enjoyed it, right? Yeah, you're yacht rocking. And people still like the Pink Flamingo, evidently. And then with Toto, kind of same thing. You kind of suffered through the one or two, but they did the rest of the catalog that you know and you sing with, and you go home happy.
Right. They sing Rosanna, they sing Africa, everything's good.
And Hold the Line and 99. Yeah. So there's enough there to keep you interested. Obviously, like I said, they have to dip in a couple, but okay.
Very
They
good.
probably get to their, I think it was about 90 minutes. So they probably had to get those extras in there to kind of fill that time to
stretch it out.
Validate the contract.
There you go. All right. Well, let's get to what we were going to talk about this week, and this could be an interesting episode because in pre-show conversation, you're like, I don't think I had any of these things. So one of the things we would talk about, and this is why I thought about this to bring it up, because I don't know if you've seen, because you're not on social media as much, that all these, I'll call them millennials. I'm going to throw it right out there. It ain't us. It ain't Gen X people saying this. All these millennial parents are now like, oh, I wish I could go back and have my kids do a 90s summer like when I grew up. And I sit there and go, no, you don't. Because what you want to do is supervise your kids having a 90s summer, when in reality, nobody was supervising us.
No.
Now, we were, by the 90s, we were beyond having a 90s summer because we were in college. And then later in the 90s, working. So we didn't have a 90s summer. You go back to the 80s summer? No, there's no way you as a parent would turn around and go, yeah, you know what? I think I would like it if my kid just left at 10 in the morning and I didn't hear from him or her until 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. There's no chance people would want that these days. None.
Correct. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, my summer is slightly different being out in the middle of nowhere, but we would, when we moved to where there was other houses and kids, it was, have breakfast, get out. We'll see you later. You better come home when I call you, but see you later. Yeah. And, we were just a pack of roaming boys and a few sisters going through the woods and houses that are being built and just left on our own vices.
Exactly. And nobody would want that for their kids these days. Nobody. No. I mean, I would be fine with it, but I think most people would be like, I'm calling protective services on you. CPS would be called immediately. So
no free ranging your kids.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, little Easter egg before we get to the thing that I've got for you. First off, I have a new camera. If people have noticed, it's much clearer than before. But also, the reason I have it is because of this right here. I want you to take a look at that.
The no-go team.
That's right. If you're speaking Spanish, that is 6 feet tall and 6 feet wide, and that is in my my broadcasting room here. So
That's nice.
If you're a Mason fan, that's coming. Just know that's out there.
Is that for you to work from home, or are you dragging that around?
No, I'm not dragging that around.
Okay.
No, that's gonna be behind me. But I didn't think that they would appreciate it being behind me during our podcast. So I moved it over there because I didn't want them to be like, hey, when you were talking about all these people being idiots, it's not a great look to have that right behind you as you do it. So anyway, I put together this whole, we're going to have a 90s summer and everything else, or I wish my kids were having an 80s summer. Well, no, you don't, because here's some of the toys that we had back in the day that there's no way. In fact, some of them are banned. And you're not allowed to have them now. So, without further ado, we have, Gary, the safety briefing that none of us got.
Okay.
For our toys. So, here we go. I did no particular order. I just threw a bunch of them together, and I figured we could talk our way through them. Do you remember clackers, Gary?
I've heard. I never had it, but someone at school did and got it taken away from them.
All right. And as
how do you want to smack your ball?
Yeah, why wouldn't you want to smack your balls, Gary? I mean, that just makes perfect sense. You see the little ring on the end of that string there?
Yes.
Yeah, that ring, you slid it over your finger, and then we'd hold on, and literally, that's what you did. You moved your hand up and down, and the balls would go clack, 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 clack. But the problem was when they originally made these things, they would break. They would chip. Some of them were made out of wood originally.
Oh, okay.
So all of that, they ended up making them into this hard acrylic, which is great if you're just hanging around with yourself and you're bored, and that's what you did. You're like, I guess I'll get out my clackers and make some noise. And some of them were spelled with a K instead of a C at the front of it. But even more impressive, if you got really, really mad or you were playing with friends, there's nothing better than twirling the clackers above your head and then throwing them like almost like
bolo.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that came to mind. Is like, it's a bolo. We can throw it at each other playing sports.
Correct. Or you could throw them at squirrels in your yard and see if you can hit the squirrel with them. Yes, there are many things you can do with clackers, including trying to wrap them around your sibling's neck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's always a fun one. All right, so that's
I was worried there for a second that was like from an Adam and Eve catalog or something. I was like,
no, it's nothing like that at all. No, I like where your head is, but no. All right, the next one. Oh, we all had one of these if you had a sister. Maybe your sister didn't. Did you have an easy bake oven?
No, but very, very aware of them from other friends, younger siblings, and let's just make some cookies with the light bulb.
It made zero sense. Like, if you're going to give, I mean, literally the caption that I put there, here's some cupcake batter, now don't burn it on the light bulb, literally is what you would do. For people who aren't familiar, that little box right there, I can't really point to it because it's just a picture, but the box there had a light bulb in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you cooked.
A high watt one.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like a 120 maybe. I don't remember exactly which one it was. It wasn't a 60, I don't think. It's at least 100. Cook. Yeah. Oh, it would cook, and usually it would cook the side closest to the light bulb a little bit more well done than the ones on the outer edge, but you still ate it. But again, I was talking to Carrie about it before, and I said, did you have one of these? She's like, yeah. She's like, it's not dangerous. I'm like, not dangerous. You're cooking with a light bulb. Like, how is that not? I mean, how is that not dangerous? Just reach in and get the cake out. Make sure you don't touch the light bulb, though.
But see, that's the thing, though. It's no different than a crock pot. Crock pot was a little bit more safer because it's a light bulb. But the point of that was to teach, at the time, don't get mad, young women the early domestic duties.
You're not wrong.
They weren't cooking on the full-size stove. You didn't have to watch them, so they would cook on the light bulb. If they got a little singed fingers, well, that was then now
you know.
Oven mitts and be careful. You know, it's like pulling the TV down on your head. Like, he's only going to do it once. But
that's right. Well, yeah, I mean, it was one of those things, like, if you were ever sitting there playing house or whatever, then, they'd be like, here, we're going to cook dinner. And then you'd have easy bake oven cookies or cupcakes or whatever it was. And that's how you did it. But again, dangerous. Just leaving you alone with hot items. Can't imagine anybody's actually using that today, but maybe. We'll see. All right.
There might be a modern version of it out there.
You think? It must be. But you know what? It ain't a light bulb anymore. I guarantee there's some sort of heating element.
Yes. Much safer design, probably.
Yeah.
That's we went through that whole thing in the 70s where we had to clean up all the toys. That's why we're talking about this, where it was too dangerous. Can't have that. Can't have that. Can't have that. So,
true.
Like I said, there's probably a safer version out there now.
I would think so.
USB charged.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you probably plug it in and all that stuff. I was up today helping Carrie's getting ready for back to school, and they have two 55-gallon fish tanks in their library there. So we were cleaning the fish tanks out because nobody ever does. So I do it once a year in the summertime, a couple weeks before she has to go back. And of course, we have the heaters. I say we. They have the heaters in the tank. And I cleaned them off and everything. And I'm like, do we even know if these things still work? And she's like, yeah, they should. I'm like, okay. And so I was like, well, put the water in first because you don't want to start the heater without it being in the water because it'll shatter. Like the glass will just get. And I was like, plug the one in. I was like, well, the light's not coming on. So I'm just like holding the bottom of the heater. I'm like, let's see. And I mean, I'm not kidding. In like 5-6 seconds, it got ridiculously hot, like to the point I'm like, that's dangerous. Like I'm going to put that, like this is not, because I'm like, oh, I'll feel it getting warm, like no, it was like almost instantaneous, like hot. And I was like, all right, we're going to put that one down and hopefully that doesn't boil the fish when we put it into the water. But yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I know you know aquariums because I knew all the fish you had. So
yep.
So you're saying that was a bad one? It shouldn't be that warm that fast?
I don't remember them. It may be because it was outside the water, which they tell you never plug those things in outside water because they will heat up so much that I've seen them shatter before with people that like were doing their fish tank and took all the water out. And then as they were putting stuff back in, plugged in their heater and then were filling the tank and it didn't get, the water level didn't get up there. And all of a sudden it went, and you just saw glass shards into the water. So it can't happen. It's very dangerous, kids. Not as dangerous as the Easy Bake Oven, however. All right, how about this? Did you have bottle rockets growing up as a kid? Were you allowed to have them? I know Virginia, after a while, banned all these things. Anything that flew through the air, you couldn't have anymore. Luckily, I had degenerate neighbors that would buy them all the time, and we seemed to have an endless supply of bottle rockets from the neighbors up the street.
We always went to Myrtle Beach in the summer.
Aha!
Fireworks Central, right?
Yes.
They sell them, and so you would stock up and bring them home to be ready for a few instances before. But you're stocking up before 4th of July, depending on, because we usually went in August, so
right,
you get the discounts. So yeah, we had bottle rockets and M80s and firecrackers. So yes, I had that dangerous toy, not in the abundance that I would have wanted, because you had to be real special. Like, all right, this week we're going to take the M80 and put it in this glass bottle and see what happens.
There you go. And then run.
Yeah. So yeah, we had those. I didn't think of that in terms of toys when you brought up the subject, but bottle rockets are so much fun.
See, we used to use them because, again, we had, I don't know if it was Myrtle Beach or Pennsylvania. Like, we would go to Pennsylvania, but my dad wouldn't stop that often to get fireworks for us. But we had a neighbor who would buy, I mean, I'm not kidding. If I said that he had packs of 1,000 of those things in their garage, they did. I mean, they had, it seemed like no matter what, you could go grab just a handful of bottle rockets. We would use them when we would play, like, and this is going to be really un-PC, when we play Cops and Robbers, or what's the other standby? Cowboys and Indians. So if somebody, and we had woods back behind the house and everything, if you had built a nice little fort ahead of time, well, yeah, somebody would get the bottle rockets out and you would start firing them off at somebody's fort to try to get them to jump from, or you'd have the little tiny firecrackers. You just light them and then throw them in a string, and they would crack over your head, or every once in a while one would go down the back of your shirt and you'd get a big burn on your back. Oh, yeah, all that stuff, of course. And you know what? If you came home and had a little singe, that was your own fault. No one cared. Just like, what were you guys doing? Playing in the woods. What's the thing on your back? Oh, I got hit with a bottle rocket. Okay, you guys should be careful with that stuff. Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's about what it was.
My best bottle rocket story, I was 15. We were in Myrtle Beach. And at the time, there was an older hotel. You could rent their top, call it penthouse, but it wasn't that great because we're talking about the 80s. And
still, it's a penthouse.
Yeah. Well, it was an older hotel, but it allowed the extended family all got one place. My Uncle Ralph, God bless him.
Love Ralph.
He comes walking in with arms full of bottle rockets, right? And no one really pays attention. No one, the rest of the straight-laced family said, wait a second, is that a good idea? Because Ralph just said, hey, everybody.
Of course it's a good idea.
It goes right out to the balcony. And it's the old metal loungers, so it's got the heavy vinyl straps.
Yep.
He just starts popping bottles right into those straps.
In between the straps,
10 or 15 bottles, right? And now we just start loading up. And he's looking over the edge of the building because we are beachfront. So once you clear the building, it's beachfront.
Over the beach. Yeah, you just into the ocean with them.
And so, it wasn't really the ocean, Bill.
Okay.
There's definitely some downward angle.
Oh, okay.
So he just starts lighting them off as fast as he can. And I'm just standing there, just watching these rockets straight out and then drop. And there's people on the beach, and they're running and going crazy. And Ralph is just like, woo, have some of that.
Target practice. Love it.
Yes. So it took long enough, but the Myrtle Beach police showed up, were not too happy about the situation.
Yeah.
And there was a stern talking to given to my uncle downstairs in a cruiser, but he did not go to jail. There's a big difference between now and then, because today, he'd been sent up the river, but that was just a stern talking to in the back of a cruiser of how we don't do these things in this town.
We had, when I was probably 6 or 7, we went to our friend's house, out not in the neighborhood that I grew up in, but a neighborhood for people that are familiar with Northern Virginia, over in Wilton Woods was the neighborhood. And these family friends, it was a woman that my dad had gone to high school with. So we went to visit her and her husband, and they had 3 daughters. And the next door neighbors, and the daughters were all older than me, the next door neighbors had a couple of sons who, of course, like to flirt with the 3 daughters. So they get up on their roof with bottle rockets. We're all having a picnic in the backyard, and they start firing them off, like just, being nice, like above the tree line and everything, because both houses backed up to woods, hence Wilton Woods. And then all of a sudden they thought, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we just fire a couple down into the picnic area? So they did. And of course, the guy that we were visiting was an old Navy. I forget what his rank was. I don't think he ever got to admiral, but he was pretty up there. I think he might have been a captain, maybe even further up. So he was kind of he was a nice guy, but he didn't put up with a lot of stuff. So the first one bounces off the tent and explodes, and he's just like, all right, guys, that's enough. And they fire one more off, and it lands. Gary, I'm not kidding. These guys could not have walked down and placed it any better than where it hit. Right in the strawberry jello, whatever, whipped cream thing. And it hit and exploded. Luckily, it didn't hit anybody, but no more dessert. There's jello over everything, over everywhere. Of course, I think this is the greatest thing that's ever happened in the world, because I'm sitting there like, that's unbelievable. These guys just blew up dessert. This is awesome. Nobody else thought it was funny, including their parents. And they got snatched off the roof of their house pretty quick. And that was the last we saw of them that day, that 4th of July. I'm not sure they were able to go out and see the fireworks like the rest of us did up at Lee District Park. But I still can see that in my mind. I can rerun that reel of that thing going, and then just nothing. I'm like, oh. And then all of a sudden it goes, and the whole thing goes up. It was fantastic.
I had visions of the Navy guy like starting to ring a klaxon and start yelling, "Battle stations, we're returning fire."
He should have. We should have started firing back at him. It would have been great. But I think he's probably a couple Budweisers into it and was like, "That's enough, guys." And they're just like, "Swoop,"
Have some of that.
and it just exploded right in the Jello. It was unbelievable. All right, next up on our list. Oh, you love this. Shrinky Dinks. Did you have Shrinky Dinks?
I did not, and still don't.
You have no idea what a Shrinky Dink is.
You baked them, right? And they filled out and made things. Yes.
Hence these small children with their mom just staring blankly into an oven.
Yeah.
Here's what Shrinky Dinks were. You would get like a good size, like let's just say, I don't know, a duck, right? Yeah. And you would take colored pencils and you would decorate your duck or your basketball or whatever. You could make Shrinky Dinks out of anything. And then you'd fire up the oven. And then you'd cut around the little plastic that your Shrinky Dink was in to make the little shape. Or you could leave it round if you wanted to make like a little medallion necklace or whatever. Then you'd throw those fuckers in the oven for about 8 minutes at 350. And they would just literally, like the name says, shrink.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd pull them out. What kind of art project should you be having for kids that involves an oven? Don't understand. Goes back to the Easy Bake Oven. Like, why? Like,
well, again, we're teaching home ec skills, right? How to use the oven properly under supervision. There was also, and maybe you have it later, wasn't there other ones? This is what I thought it was.
Okay.
It came with these plastic or metal templates, and you drop the colored beads based in the, like, I want the wing to be blue, so I'm going to drop blue wings in. And so when you put it in the oven, the beads would melt and make like stained glass on the cheap, if you would.
Oh, okay. Was that, trying to remember what that, I'm looking it up because I remember sort of what that was. I'm trying to think, was that, I'm looking here, I'm going back there. Was that the creepy crawlers? Is that what that was?
There was that where you're actually making insects and stuff, but this was more like artistic where it's like round stained glass that might have a butterfly in it.
Yeah, I believe you don't remember. I remember the creepy crawlers. I didn't have those, so I didn't put it on here. But that was the one where it would like you melted like hot rubber, right? And then poured it into the mold.
Yes.
Again, that makes no sense either. Like, go boil some water on the stove. It's got to be really hot, so make sure it's bubbling. And then mix this stuff in and then pour it into this mold. Try not to singe yourself. You'll be fine.
Well, you may have it later. Do you have the chemistry set?
I don't.
So they were talking about some of those chemistry sets back then still had acid and all this. Like, you could do some serious stuff if you knew what you were doing and got your hands on it. But yeah, we'll just, here, chemistry set, 12-year-old, go have fun, right? And you're taking ammonia and nitrogen and building little homemade explosives.
Yeah, it's like later on in the early 2000s when they're like, ooh, look, Mentos and Diet Coke will cause an explosion, and there are a bunch of 80s kids that are like, we did this, but except we were dangerous with it because if you did it wrong, you could evacuate the entire school. I know because my elementary school had to be evacuated one day because they were messing around in chemistry class, and guys figured out how to make basically. Was it chloride? What is that?
Chloroform?
No, not chloroform.
To knock out women?
No. It was something that they mixed together, and then the odor was like really bad, and it had chlorine in it. Chlorine was part of it, and I can't remember exactly what it was called because I was like in third grade when it happened. But I just remember like the fire trucks, and luckily the fire trucks were literally across the street, so they drove 100 feet. Parked instead of just running across the road, they got in their fire truck and drove it into the school parking lot 100 feet away. I always wondered, like, why? Like, you could have got here quicker if you just ran across the street.
No,
but they had to come in.
We bring equipment.
I know.
That 1 in 1,000 chance something's really happening, we need the equipment.
Yeah, so they evacuated all of us out to the playground on the other side away from everything, and we ended up, I think, we may have ended up going home early that day because they had to like air out the school from
Then
the
yeah.
toxic fumes or whatever it was. So I was like, yeah, at that point I was like, I don't need the chemistry set. I've seen it. It's fine. I don't need one. But yes, same theory. Same theory. All right, here we go. Next one up. Did you have this? Super elastic bubble plastic.
No, but someone did. And I remember, I think there was commercials for it too. And if I remember, it smelled like airplane glue, right? For model glue? Okay.
Yes.
That's what I remember about that when I see it. Like, I remember that someone had it and it smelled like airplane glue.
Yeah,
Model
pretty
glue.
much. I'm going to look up to see exactly what was in it.
Okay.
Let's see.
More with the chemical high.
Oh, well, I mean, it was.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There was another thing also called balloonies. B''Loonies. It's like balloons, except balloonies.
Balloonies.
That is now still, I guess they've gone with the non-toxic chemicals. They figured out that this isn't a great idea to give kids a straw and put really toxic things on the end of the straw. I mean, look, let's be honest. When you first start blowing this thing, like in that picture there, it's a big round ball. When it first starts out, it looks like a crack pipe. It looks like you're making a crack pipe because it's just a small ball on the end of it. It's like, yeah, we're teaching the kids this. And of course, the smell from the chemicals and also you huffing it back in, yeah, you are going to get a contact high from the super elastic bubble plastic. So let's see. It had polyvinyl acetate, which is similar to material used in some glues. So there's your model glue, model airplane thing. Acetone itself, the strong smelling solvent, also associated with nail polish remover, and ethyl acetate, another volatile solvent plastic softening ingredient. So there you go.
What a time, right? Because remember,
I mean, come on, what are we doing?
there were chemists back then, so we knew these things. And someone took the time and effort, said, okay, hey, we're going to mix these chemicals together. And we're going to put some colorization in it and let these kids blow, suck through a straw, smell it. It's going to be fine. And a bunch of people in the boardroom said, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And then again, years later, they brought back not super elastic bubble plastic, but they brought back balloonies. And Canada went, yeah, you guys say this is safe? No, it's not. And they banned it in like 2022 or 2023. And the U.S. is like, I don't know, here's 8 more colors. Good luck. Just, you know, like, here you go. I don't know what to tell you. It's fine. So, yeah. Again, for those people who didn't do it, you literally would take the straw and put it at the end of your mouth, and then somebody would take, hopefully a parent, would take it and put the little dab of all that stuff at the end of it.
Just you doing that.
Yeah, that's dude, that's exactly what it looked like, though.
I know, but...
And it looks like you're smoking a crack pipe. And they'd be like, okay, blow. And you'd be like... And the bubble would come out, and you're like, this is amazing. And then the people in front of you are like, it smells so bad. They have this headache from this stupid super elastic bubble plastic. It's fantastic. Did you find it?
No, our internet's. We're surprised we're still good. It's just in and out, and I was trying to look it up on my phone, and it just anyway,
died on you.
Yeah. No, it's buffering.
Oh, okay.
The laptop's good, but the phone is just like, oh, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Oh, that's about what happened when you did the super elastic bubble plastic. You just started buffering. That's about what it was, man. It was crazy. Buffering. It was crazy. All right, how about this? Did you have a wood burning craft set?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I did not. Yeah,
right.
I had a limited childhood. I'm starting to wonder.
I
may have to call mom and dad after this. Go, hold on here. We just had a Dangerous Toys show, and I don't remember any of this. Other people had it, not me. What happened?
See, I didn't have one of these wood burning sets because I didn't have any of the artistic stuff because I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. I can't do any of that stuff. So what good was it going to do them to give me a 350-degree heated up pen basically to carve into plywood? Like, there's no point on that because I'm just going to doodle and screw around. But I do know I had friends that had those things and friends that any set of brothers that had a woodworking set like that. Again, it basically was you would plug in the pen, pen as they call it, stylus, whatever you want to call it. It would heat up on the end of it so that you could then singe the wood into some sort of drawing that you wanted to do. Well, you know what else you could singe with the end of that pen? Your brother's arm or the back of his neck or anything else if he pissed you off. You know how I know this? I witnessed it. I watched it. So that's why, again, I would never do it myself. All those guys that are in a couple of the black fraternities that do the branding on the arm and stuff and everything, I was always like, yeah, I mean, okay, that's cool. You guys do that stuff. I saw that when I was 8. Like, everybody's like, oh, man, how could you do that? That looks so terrible. I'm like, my neighbors were like doing that. I have a buddy that's got a scar right down his arm that he'd scarred up because his brother was like, hey, I wonder what happened if I did this, and literally turned to him and just drew right down his forearm and singed him second-degree burns across his arm. It was wild.
At least he didn't do it to his face.
Well, that's fair. Fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had 3 brothers. 2 of them were older than me. One of them was younger than me, and it was constant of stuff going on at that house that you just would not want going on at your house. So, oddly enough, my parents were like, it's fine. You can go play with them. You're good.
They're good. Yeah. No, the guy I knew had it. I mean, he would do some art, but he did it because, I don't know, he liked to sign his baseball bats because he was still using wood bats and little league and street ball. So he liked to put his name on his bat.
Right.
You weren't going to claim it. Had his name on it.
Right. No, it makes sense. He was using what it was intended for.
Yeah.
My friends, I wonder, neither one of them, and none of them ended up working for the CIA or anything, which would have made sense because they knew good torture devices.
Or did they end up in prison? Because that's...
No, none of them have ended up in prison either. I do know that.
The secondary, like, they're knowing how to survive in prison, right? Gang tats and...
I was going to say, they could probably do the prison tattoos. But yeah, again... Why would you give your kid, and this goes along with the easy bake oven and shrinky dinks and anything else that has to do with heat? You're going to hurt somebody with this. That's just the way it is. All right, next one. Oh, you had to have had this.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
In multiple forms. Yes. I didn't realize it was dangerous, though, but okay.
Well, I mean, it kind of is. It's gunpowder in a way.
Yeah. You could hit it with a hammer. I remember that.
Oh, do you remember the rolls?
Yes.
Not even these little... This thing was great because the little plastic things here, I think these were 8 shooters. You put into the gun and you could literally crank it and pull the trigger and it would go pop, pop, pop. And you get a little smoke coming out of it. It was great. Just like you'd have a regular gun. Mm-hmm. Then you also had the roll.
The rolls.
That you could roll out and hit with a rock.
Yep. Or whatever. Yep.
Yeah. Or usually it was a rock.
Yeah.
And if you stacked enough of them on top of each other... and hit it nice and hard, you could even get a good flame out of it if you knew what you were doing.
Again, that nice red paper. I remember that. It had a nice feel to it.
And it smelled really good.
Good, yes.
But not everybody, did all your friends have these? I mean, this, again, we talked about playing cops and robbers. We had these guns along with, and I didn't put it on the list, BB guns. Did you have BB guns?
Oh, of course. I was going to say, these cap guns existed by the time we moved where there was people my age. They were just for noise making. They weren't for cops and robbers, that kind of thing. Okay. Just our age group. BB guns, yes, because we definitely played, one pump only, especially in the fall and winter, heavier jacket, and you couldn't shoot above the chin, couldn't shoot below the butt. These are rules, right? But yeah, one pump BB gun, yes.
Oh, see, you guys might have had different guns than we did, because we played 5-pump.
Oh,
enough to sting, but not hard enough to penetrate. So we played 5-pump, and if you got caught doing more than that, usually everybody ganged up on you.
Yep.
And either shooting the BB gun at you, or they just come and tackle you and beat the snot out of you. So yeah, there is gang violence, town justice, if you will.
I call that socializing, Bill.
Well, yeah, right? I mean, look.
You were put in line. If you did something wrong, you were put in line by the rest of the group. That was just socialization.
Yeah, and
parents hated it.
No, that's how it worked. You had to keep everybody
parents hated the one pump, the BB gun game once ours found out about it. But socialization. You play by the rules or you don't, and you pay the price.
Right. Again, it goes back to the forts that I talked about. You would stick your BB gun through the sticks in your fort and try to pop somebody coming by if they were getting close. And if they got hit, you knew they got hit because they were going to flinch, which means they had to go back because they were wounded, and you had to leave from where you were and go back to your base. That was how we played. Those were the rules. Everybody knew. But you also knew that if somebody was able to see where you were and they counted your pumps and you did more than 5, I mean, it was immediate that people were like, hey, he did 7 pumps.
That was more than 5.
Yeah, everybody's like, that's more than 5. What are you doing? You're going to hurt somebody? And then you'd be like, I didn't do that. You just fired off to the side like, I didn't do 7 pumps. But no, you didn't. Because if you got caught, boy, you'd be in a world of trouble. And you would know if somebody did more than 5 when you got hit with it. You knew the difference between, that was a 3, that was probably a 5. Oh, that was definitely 8. Like, that was way, like, you'd be like, holy smokes, what did I do? And you'd be like, I can't do that. It's not fair. I did have a buddy of mine actually, and this wasn't even playing outside. He was in high school at the time. He was just an idiot. And I could tell him the story. He didn't live in my neighborhood. We ended up going to the same church together. So I was talking about, when we had BB guns, we played 5 pump because at a distance, it's not going to penetrate the skin, but it's going to hurt. And this is when paintball guns were first coming out. And I was like, it hurts a little bit, maybe even a little bit less than a paintball gun hurts now. And so he's got a BB gun in his room. And he's like, so you don't think 5 will penetrate? And I was like, not at distance, no. And he's like, he did like 7, puts his finger on the end of it and goes, poof. And it lodged. Guess what? It lodged in his finger. And I was like,
it did.
I was like, how dumb are you? Like, this is just stupid. He's like, it's under the skin. I'm like, yeah.
No shit.
No kidding. 5 probably would have gone under the skin if you put it right at the end of where it's coming out. What are you doing? So we went to the bathroom and pushed the thing out. He ended up having to get 3 or 4 stitches. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody do. So stupid. But again, why would your parents let you have BB guns? It doesn't make any sense.
Different time. It was about learning gun safety at a safer level.
That's fair.
If you think about it.
That was the thing. Talking to Kara, because I was like, I had all these things, because she was like, some of the stuff that she's like, that doesn't seem like it's a good idea. And I said, Kara, I grew up with guns in my house, actual guns. I said, but you know what? It was also one of those things if you screwed with any of them, you'd be dead.
Yes.
My dad would have taken the belt of me and beat my ass, and I would have deserved it for being stupid around something like that. So you learned very quickly not to mess with things that were dangerous and that could really, really mess you up. That's why we could have these toys, because you knew.
Parenting.
Yeah.
Parenting at its best.
Exactly. All right, how about... everybody still has these. Yeah. The slip and slide.
And like you said, the missed stumps or the piece of gravel that
the rocks
to. Yep.
Yeah. I just love on this box. It's crazy. People scoot like seals. Was that a thing back then? Look at them go like a.
I mean, that's an older box. I mean, that's
that's
more than us. So older than us.
That's probably 50s, 60s, maybe.
Yeah. I just know one of my friends' houses. So if you're standing on the road, left side was all flat, went for miles. On the right side, it was houses on half acre, even though they owned more. And then beyond that half acre, it was down to this ravine. So there was these 2 houses that some of the boys lived at. So wintertime, great sledding hill.
Sure.
Summertime, that's where the slip and slide went. But like we said, some people didn't pay attention where we're going to put down the slip and slide. Or, hey, I don't know, let's take 5 minutes and make sure the zone is clear. Nope, we're just going to throw it down and go at it.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I remember taking a rock in the face.
Sure. Rock in the face.
Right? You go down head first and there was a rock sticking up. It's like, what the? And leave a red mark. Didn't tear through skin or through the slip and slide, but it left a nice whelp on you where you dragged over it.
Or if you're going down your butt and you had it in the wrong place, you'd really hit your coxswain bone there in the back, and you'd be bruised for a week. Oh yeah, we only had a couple. I think we only had one neighbor that had the slip and slide. No, that wasn't really a thing in my neighborhood. We had one person that had it, and I just remember same thing. Like, if you didn't go and look, you would end up like you said, shoulder, your butt, whatever it may be. I saw one of my buddies got his heel because he went feet first and caught the rock with his heel. And it bruised it up. I mean, he was limping for weeks after that thing. It was just like, why didn't we? And every time you go, why didn't we look? Because somebody got hurt the last time too. But no, you're just a kid. You're so excited that somebody's going to let you run the hose down this plastic sheet of whatever. And off you went. You're like, all right, let's go. And then like the second person down will be like, I think there's a rock there. And then you lift it up and you're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
right,
there it is.
Let's dig that out. Get that
was a
taken
root.
care of.
We shouldn't have put it there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the roots was the other thing. You'll buy a tree and you're like, oh, brutal. All right. This is the coup de grace.
It is.
Jarts. And I'm disappointed in putting this picture together that it cut off the end tips, because people that don't know about this would be like, well, what's the big deal? It's just little plastic flights. They look like, giant-sized darts. Well, they were, in fact, giant-sized darts, including the tip, which was pretty sharp.
Steel tip.
Big steel tip. Now, I know there were plenty of people that got injured, took a jart to a foot or whatever it was. We had them in my house for years, 0 injuries. And one of the games we used to play, because you see there's 2 yellow rings. You would set it, I don't know, maybe 30 feet apart, 20 feet apart, whatever it is. And then you would have your jart and you would stand on the opposite. It was horseshoes, basically, with darts. That's what it was. If you got it in the middle, it was 3. If you got it just outside the circle, but within a jart distance, it was 1. Yeah, you would measure with the jart. If you got it within a jart length of the circle, that was 1 point. So when you got bored of that, you know what you would do? You'd stand 30 feet away, and your friend would launch that thing over towards you, and you'd try to time it as it came down and grab it out of the air. Did that for years. Never once got hurt.
There you go. You were playing it appropriately.
Yeah.
I think where it got more dangerous was, and I don't remember the exact rules, like you said, 30, 40 feet, where it's more of like a light lob, right?
Yeah.
It's low speed, not a lot of effort. We all can all see it. It probably got crazy when they said, okay, we're going to move this up to like 100 feet, and we're going to throw it up in the air as hard as we can toward the target with no control, because, if it was, your friend's sister threw it as like left-handed, right? It goes off and hits the house or gets someone in the head. Those things happen. So.
Well, I heard a lot of the injuries for this came like you'd be playing in the backyard and maybe somebody had like a 6-foot fence. And if you couldn't see it coming, I guess if you're in the other yard and somebody overshot it, if it landed on you, it was going to hurt. Yeah. I just don't know how, unless you just absolutely weren't paying attention, which I guess could happen if you're a little kid running around and the adults are playing. I just don't know how you would, how do you not see it coming down to not to avoid it, to go, oh, here comes a jart, I should move.
Yeah. I just remember those ends being heavy, and if you're looking at the picture, that steel collar that you see there moved. So that was part of the momentum for the pitch.
Because if you threw it up, that would then bring it to turn over, so it would go point down. Yeah. Because it was very hard to have the jart not stick in the ground. Like those things didn't just bounce, because again,
no, they went in.
They went in. Like it says in there, projectiles from the sky. They did. You tossed it up, that little silver thing, and the flight would spin just like a regular dart. It would spin around the shaft there, and once it got to its height, started coming down. That steel collar would zoop right down on top of the spike thing, the dart end, and it would fly it right into the ground. They did not bounce very often.
Yeah. So our similar version, don't know if you guys did this, was the bow and arrow. Right?
Sure.
You stand in the circle, guy in the middle shoots the arrow straight up in the air, and you all kind of stand there like, where is it? And then decide when to run when no one can visually see the arrow and hope you didn't get hit.
Now here's the question, because we had you had the regular, like my dad had a regular bow and arrow. I still have it. It's actually in my mom's basement, but with like, the broad tips and everything else. Are you talking like the wooden kid version bow and arrow? Or are you talking about like an actual bow and arrow?
No, not like the compound bows or the higher end.
Okay.
This was just like the wooden / fiberglass.
Yeah, like little
at that
kid
time,
ones.
the Kmart special.
Yeah. Okay.
That used the blunt tip arrows, but
Right.
still stand in the middle.
It's gonna
shoot
hurt.
it up.
Now, we also had, when I was much younger, the bow and arrows that had the little suction cup ends,
Yes,
right?
I had that. Yes,
How long did it take before you were like, you know what? These
take them off.
they come off very easy.
Oh,
And
I
you
did.
Figure that out pretty quick, and then all of a sudden there are holes in the plywood in your basement.
Yeah, we're shooting bottles and
Yep.
toward the car. I remember Dad
Yep.
getting mad about that.
Yep.
Finding out that the suction cup was off, and here I am shooting at like the truck in the garage and
Right.
just random things like, can I hit that?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're just being a little boy. You're just like, I wonder if I can hit that from this distance.
We're exploring. We're learning. That's the way
Yeah.
that's education at its best right there.
Exactly. All right. Did we miss anything in that list?
No, because we did talk about the chemistry lab, which I thought was another big one.
Yep.
Lead paint, too generic, because a lot of the metal toys, it had lead paint. Sure, but I don't remember chewing on any.
But see, I was gonna say, but the lead paint thing, that wasn't like our parents going, "Oh, this is dangerous because it has lead paint, but I'll give it to him anyway." Like
Yes.
you would do with like the chemistry set, where they go, "Well, it's possible he could blow up the house, but what are the odds?" Here you go.
Just wear your goggles; it'll be fine.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, I think that pretty much covers the ones that I would have thought of as "quote unquote" dangerous, because there's stories to some of those. Nothing else sticks out because for lack of better discussion, there was a little bit of the unsupervised time, and then quickly we were into the electronic age.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of things changed, especially for us and others. All those Pac-Man, I can play that for 7 hours straight. Do I go outside?
Right.
No.
Right.
All of that, ingenuity of, hey, if we take the arrow and we light the end with a ping pong ball, what can we do with this?
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. I forgot about I had a ping pong table growing up, and anytime they got dented or whatever, you just found a way to make them a weapon. And a lot of times it involved dumping maybe a little bit of kerosene, because we had kerosene oil lamps. When the power went out at our house, you just got out the kerosene lamp and lit it, and that's how you did it. It was a treat when the power went out, because you were like, oh, we get to light the kerosene lamps. This is great. Like, who wants just kerosene lying around their house? We had them. And my dad had a big can, like you would have a gas can. He had a big thing of kerosene. And I remember in the basement for a while, and then out in the shed once we had that built. But yeah, you would go and take the ping pong ball and fill it with kerosene. And then, or you would take cotton balls and soak them in kerosene, and then put them in the ping pong ball, and then, because you'd cut it in half, and then tape it back together, and then light it, and you could fire it, and that was always a blast, because that thing would, with the flame coming in behind it from the cotton ball soaked in kerosene. Oh yeah, great times.
I remember one time my uncle, and you have to realize he was maybe 10 to 12 years older than me, wanted to start shooting at the propane bottles.
Well,
that went over well with the
you talking
family.
about the small
the
pound
green
ones? Or the the green ones, the pound. Okay.
There was a 20 pounder out there.
You ain't gonna do anything with that. Those things are ridiculously
but
thick.
Did not make the parents happy, let me tell you, when they found out what we were doing. So
no, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, the 20. I wouldn't have been worried about you shooting at the 20-pound canister, because those things you can go through hell and they won't explode for obvious reasons, because that's what everybody has for their grills. So you want it to be almost idiot-proof. Yeah, those plastic 1-pound ones though. Yeah, you could probably put a broadhead through one of those. I would imagine it would go through one of those plastic thingies. So yeah, I can see that. That'd be fun. All right. Well, then we've covered it. There's your 90s/80s summer, kids. You'd like to relive all of that, just use some of those toys. That's what we had growing up. Get some lawn jarts, start throwing them at each other. Maybe get yourself a wood burning kit and get your own brand going. You know, just put it right across your chest like a tattoo. It'd be great. Yeah, take care of all that. So.
Oh, man.
All right, you got any parting words for us? Anything maybe from Christopher Cross or the Romantics? Perhaps
I wish.
Toto has inspired you.
I didn't even go that way. I was going to say, you know, despite the not wearing helmets on the bicycle, the chemistry sets, the just go down the list of all the dangerous things. We survived and lived to tell the stories about it.
There you go. This is me. This is him saying see you next time.
This concludes this episode of Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhite. Gen X Men is now off the air.